All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really fundamental shift that's happening in the legal world, how advanced AI is quietly rewriting the rules of the game for anyone just starting their career.
Let's kick things off with this quote because, honestly, it just cuts right through all the noise. This isn't some abstract sci-fi future we're talking about. This is happening right now, on the ground, and if you're in the legal field, you need to understand it. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the old business model and why it's falling apart. Then we'll get super specific about the exact tasks AI is going after. We'll uncover the silent restructuring of the job market, talk about the huge problem that creates for training, and finally, look at what it takes to build a career in this new world. Okay, so first things first. To really get where things are headed, you gotta understand the economic engine that's been driving big law firms for decades. And that engine is starting to break down. You know, this pipeline was always a two-for-one deal. For the firm, it was a cash cow. For the junior lawyer or paralegal, it was their training ground. But the whole model is built on one thing: tons and tons of repetitive document work. And that is exactly what AI is getting really, really good at. So let's get specific. What work are we actually talking about here? When people say AI is in the strike zone for legal work, what tasks are we really looking at? And this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at the overlap here. Sure, the titles are different, but the type of work? Reviewing documents, pulling out key terms, drafting something from a template. It's basically this same kind of activity for both paralegals and brand new associates. And this just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? The core skills of new AI tools are a perfect mirror image of those entry-level tasks. These AIs aren't just capable of this work. They were literally designed to do it, and to do it at scale. And here is the absolute bottom line. We are not talking about AI taking over some minor administrative chore. We're talking about automating the central, billable work that these jobs were built on for decades. So how does this all actually play out in the real world? Well, it's not as dramatic as you might think. And you know what? That's exactly what makes it so dangerous. You see, the first signal of this massive change isn't some big, flashy headline about mass layoffs. Nope. It's way, way quieter than that. It's a hiring freeze nobody announces. It's a slightly smaller incoming class of associates. It's jobs that just never get posted. Let's put some real numbers on this to make it clear. Imagine a team that used to need, say, 12 junior associates to get through all their document review. Now, with a good AI tool, maybe they find that just 8 can handle the exact same workload. And poof, those 4 spots, they're just gone. They evaporate into thin air. Nobody gets fired, so it doesn't show up in the statistics. But if you're a new graduate, that's 4 fewer chairs in a very tough game of musical chairs. But this push for efficiency has a knock-on effect, and honestly, it creates a much deeper, more serious problem for the future of the entire legal profession. I mean, just think about it for a second. How have junior lawyers always learned? It's been an apprenticeship, right? You build that gut feeling, that professional judgment by doing the reps, by seeing thousands of documents and spotting the patterns. So what happens if AI is doing all that grunt work today? Well, the result is that junior lawyers get way, way fewer of those crucial reps. Now, let's fast forward 8 years. You could end up with a whole generation of mid-level lawyers who just lack that deep instinct that senior partners rely on. And this quote just nails it. You can read a summary of 1,000 contracts and know the information. But that is a completely different thing from having the instinct that comes from wrestling with every single one of them yourself. So, okay, we've laid out the problem. The old model is shaky. The old training ground is eroding. So, what's the new path? What does the future actually look like for someone starting out? What we're seeing is the market literally splitting into 2 different lanes. On one side, you have the jobs that are purely about processing documents. Those roles are shrinking. But on the other side, a whole new category is growing. Roles that are about managing the AI itself, ensuring quality, and handling the critical human-to-human parts of the job. A much more durable, much more valuable career is opening up for people who can become experts right at this intersection. The people who don't just use the AI, but who can manage the entire workflow where legal judgment and AI tools come together. You see, the big skill isn't about how fast you can read anymore. It's all about how well you can direct the AI. Can you tell it exactly what to look for? Can you bake a client's specific needs into your instructions? Can you produce something a senior lawyer can actually trust without redoing it? That is the new game.
But, and this is the really uncomfortable part, this new skill is so powerful that you just don't need as many people to do it. One person who is really good at directing AI can manage an incredible amount of work that used to take a whole team of people.
And we just have to be able to hold both of these truths in our heads at the same time. Yes, the efficiency gain for law firms is incredible. It's real. But the impact that has on the demand for entry-level jobs, that is also very, very real. And we can't pretend it isn't.
And don't think for a second this is some far-off 10 years from now problem. The reason this is all moving so incredibly fast is because these tools are being built right into the software that every law firm on the planet already uses, like Microsoft Word. The barriers to adoption are almost zero. So really, it all comes down to this one question. The old path is getting narrower. The new path, the valuable path, is all about being the human who directs the machine. The new legal skill is directing AI. The only question is, are you ready to learn it?